Good morning, everybody in our herbalist group and in our YouTube world and any place else where you might be tuning into this. We're so happy to be back here on Thursdays. You know, we are in week 2 because we do like to do a theme for the month. That way you get 3 or 4 or 5 episodes where we can go a little bit deeper each week on these topics. And so we've been talking about releasing the emotions that no longer serve you. That's what this topic is this month, is all about releasing and getting freedom, freedom of mind, freedom of spirit, just bringing back the freedom to manage your emotions, and how we do that through releasing what no longer serves us. What do you think so far, Paula? I'll bring you in and how was last week for you? Are you excited about doing this for 3 more weeks? What do you think of release?
Yeah, I love this topic. And I think back to 10, 20 years ago, I just knew some days I was just irritable and frustrated, and I would just blame it on whatever was happening around me, not realizing it was the emotions that I was carrying. I didn't know then how to release that. I just knew I was irritated and I didn't have patience for my coworkers or my kids or whatever was going on with the day. But now that I've learned these tools, I can help my body release that. And that's where now I can feel 100 pounds lighter, like letting go of these heavy emotions or frustrations or anger or whatever it is I need to release. Literally, I feel lighter and more energized in my body. And I didn't know this 10, 20 years ago. So I feel like this is such a gift to be able to learn this and share this with everybody. Like, everybody needs to learn to be free from this heavy weight, right?
Yes, yes. It's like, what state of mind are you living your life in? Are you plugged up with pride and fear and sadness, anger, guilt, ashamed, feeling depressed, obsessed, apathetic? Ew, nobody wants to be stuck over there. Or are you feeling that joy, happiness, peacefulness, love, willingness, to engage with people? Do you have courage? And then option 3 is, are you simply neutral? Just neutral. And that's okay too. But what I love about our emotions is that we actually get to choose. Our state of mind has a profound effect on our health. Whether it's positive or negative, we can actually improve our immune system by having happy thoughts and reading affirmations and spending time plugging the good stuff in. We can lower our immune system if we stay stuck and are constantly in a pity party or feeling blue or thinking there's a black cloud over our head. We've actually directly correlated these thoughts and emotions to our physical being. I was trained through the School of Natural Healing, Dr. Christopher School of Natural Healing, and they believe that there's an emotional component to every physical ailment. There's an emotional side of it, that our sickness, our dis-ease in our body starts with an emotion first. I, went to school there, I was trained there. So yes, I'm of that same belief. Not everybody's there, but if you're willing to open your mind and be curious about the possibility of that being true, stay tuned, check out the previous episode, and stick with us through October and November, because we're doing releasing for emotions in October and November. We're going to get into how this stuff can help us with our sleep. So yeah. But today we're going to talk about books. Years ago, my dad had shared a book with me called Happiness is a Choice. Old book, probably out of print. But this last week, a happiness book popped up on my Libby app. So I did a little bit of a deep dive digging into books that are available on happiness. So today I kind of want to share some books and how you can use these books to learn more about releasing emotions and getting in touch with our emotions, and having some options available, some tools available besides essential oils, because there's lots of things out there that can help us with this. So the new book, the updated version of the happiness book, my favorite one is called The Happiness Advantage. And I should tell you a little bit about it. The book is by Shawn Achor, Achor. And Shawn is one of the world's leading experts on the connection between happiness, success, and fulfilling our potential. And his research on our mindset made the cover of Harvard Business Review. And what I love most is you don't have to go buy this book. Tune into his TED Talk. He's been viewed over 16 million times. I watched it, I think 10 or 12 times this week alone. It's hysterical. You'll appreciate it, but he has a way of getting this message across to inspire you to maybe buy the book or look into, how can you get a piece of this happiness advantage? So Paula, happiness, like, thoughts on it? How do you use it to your advantage in your life?
Oh yeah. I've always been an avid believer in affirmations and, all the things that bring us joy into our life. But now I know unless I get rid of the yuck, I don't have room to bring in the happiness. So I love this combination of release the ick, then bring on the happiness, bring on the joy, bring on the transformation. Like, empty the cup of the bad, fill with the good, right? Fill with what we want in our life, what we're inviting in.
Yeah. How do you tie that to an essential oil? I know that you chose one to share with our audience today called Divine Release. So tell us more about that.
Yes. Yeah. Divine Release. I find it's a little bit more powerful than the regular release blend that we've been talking about last week. It has a powerhouse combination of oils in it, including Royal Hawaiian sandalwood, Roman chamomile, frankincense, melissa, geranium, grapefruit, blue cypress, helichrysum, bergamot, rose, ledum, and angelica. A lot of really amazing oils, a lot of high frequency oils, a lot of spiritually connecting oils in that blend too. So I love diffusing this overnight.
Oh,
Sometimes when I have a busy or full or stressful day, I just don't know what to do with myself at the end of the day. Do you get that way?
I do. I do.
Sometimes you're like, whew, that was a lot. I made it through my day. I just want to go to bed. Like, I can't process this. So that's where I love putting this divine release in my diffuser overnight and just pray and just let God help me through these emotions. Let the oils help my body and my brain just process this and release it so that I can wake up the next day on the right side of the bed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that
Feeling
you
lighter, feeling better.
Yeah.
I don't have to like think it through and reprocess and rehash every part of it. I can just let the oil do the work. And that sometimes is all we have the energy for after a really tough day, right? So it's a good place to start. Of course, if you're going to do some of the emotion work and use the oils, of course, even better. But sometimes you're just done. You're just like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to go to bed. And that's where putting it in your diffuser is just the simplest, easiest start. And especially if it's for your family members too. You want to help them, but they're not ready or you're not ready. Just diffuse that release or divine release. And that's step one, right?
Yeah, let it go. Yeah, it's funny that you said nighttime. I don't know if I mentioned to you that I've been doing this. I have been, we talked about that. We talk about every time we bring up emotional release. I think it's both of our favorite books when we come to it. It's Releasing Emotion, Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils by Carolyn Mine. And again, she has great YouTube videos. Don't invest in the books first. Go check out these people that we recommend and talk about and see what they have. But you'll notice I have mine tabbed up here, so I can go to each of the charts. You can either look up the emotion or you can look up a physical ailment that's showing up, some tension in the body, and see what emotion is linked to that organ. Like anger has an affinity for liver. Like your liver may be congested if you're experiencing a lot of anger in your life. And then it shows what oil to use on that part. And then on top of that, there's this, you talk a lot about affirmations. I know you're going to share an affirmation today, probably about the divine oil. But in here, she has put in an affirmation that you can use. There's a worksheet in this. I think the new updated book, the worksheet is a little bit different. This is an old one, but you come in here and you say, I choose to release the trauma behind the trapped emotion of, and then you plug in that emotion that you looked up, whether it was based on a physical ailment or just like a feeling. I'm feeling sad, or I'm grieving, or I'm whatever emotion is coming up, whatever that trapped emotion is. So you repeat that affirmation 3 times, and then you choose the opposite of it. And she tells you what that is. So I choose to forgive, or I choose joyfulness, or I choose fun, maybe. So it shows you the negative, it shows you the positive emotion, the flip side of it. I don't know if I want to say negative and positive, but the yin and the yang, this is what I'm experiencing, and this is what I would like to shift it to. And then the third step is I choose, I manifest, and I believe, and using that positive or that side that you want to flip to, using that word and plugging it into these emotions. I made a list of all the negative emotions I've been experiencing, angst and, some frustration and impatience and things this week, because I want things to move faster. And I decided write it down and go through this exercise every night. So I've been doing it before bed every night. And it's like, oh, it's starting to feel, I wake up like exactly what you said. Sometimes we just let the oils do the work, and you wake up and go, oh, all of that stuff went away. I feel so much better. Sometimes we can maybe take action or use tools to cause that same thing. So I've been playing around with the tools this last week and experiencing that. Have you done that? Any thoughts on that? I know you also have that book, and I'm curious how you've used it in the past.
Yeah, I love that book. She actually came out with a new 25th edition just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit updated, but of course, still a lot of the same information and concepts and things like that. So yeah, it's a great way to just explain emotions, explain how this affects the body. 10 years ago, I didn't get this. I was very black and white. There's pain, you put on an oil, the pain went away. I got that part. But the emotion part, I did not get it. Like, this is going to help with that emotion. I was very skeptical. I didn't understand it. She does a really good job of explaining it in this book. But I still didn't get it until I could just experience it. Once I experienced it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what she was talking about. So even if you're not there yet, you're like, how is this possible? She explains the science of it. When you experience it, it's like the rest of it just came together for me. I needed to really see all of that to understand the whole concept of it, because it's new to me. It wasn't something I grew up with, versus you grew up with a lot of these influences, a lot of these expectations. So it was a big mindset shift for me. But now I can see the emotion work is the most powerful piece. That is the most valuable piece. If there's anywhere to start, it's starting there first to heal the body, heal the mind, heal the energy. All of it is tied in some way to emotions. And if we're not utilizing that and paying attention to that and what we're feeding and fueling ourselves every day, that makes a big difference. I know, Lisa, you and I talk a lot about, what do you put on the table? What do you put on your plate? It's not just the food that we're eating, but it's what we're doing in our life. Like, how am I nourishing my mind? How am I nourishing my emotions today? What am I doing to feed myself in those areas? What am I doing to feed my physical activity? And what am I doing to feed my physical body? But that emotion piece is a core piece every day.
And we
We're
do
not
kind
paying
of sweep it
attention
under
to
the
it.
rug. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the challenges can sneak up, right? It needs
Mhm.
to be a priority for each day, what we're doing for our emotions, our mindset, and our energy. It impacts so many. It has that ripple effect over all the pieces of our life, right?
Yeah. We don't
Mhm.
really get the tools. It's not like they teach a class on managing your emotions in high school or something, right? And teenagers of any age group, like teenagers need this probably more than the rest of us because of, you've got puberty and you've got hormones and you've got emotions and like growing up, and I'm going from child to adult and all these new responsibilities, and there's a ton of emotions that come with that. We don't have a tool book. We don't really have or a tool belt or a
Mhm.
rule book to help us. So that's why today I was kind of dove in a little bit on books. And I'm going to go show a couple. You know what? I told you about some of the books. This one's not even on the list. I pulled it from my library. Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die by Carol Truman. This is another one. And it's very similar to the Louise Hay book. This one I did pull up and want to talk about. It's super easy. Louise Hay, you can look up different ailments or emotions that are happening in your life, and then it will show on the flip side. I'm going to actually open it. So it'll show you what is your challenge? Is there a problem? And then what the probable cause is, like some words about what you might be experiencing or the emotion tied to the physical piece of it. And then here's the affirmation for it. And every one of Young Living's essential oils, Gary has tied them to an emotion. To an affirmation. And Paula, you share that affirmation with us with a lot of the free. What was it? Last week we did the emotional release kit. The emotional release kit we did last month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I believe that there's affirmations tied with this one as well. Freedom release. Is that true? Is there an affirmation tied to this kit, each of the emotions in this kit?
I don't have those with me
Oh, you
today,
don't.
but I'll grab those for next time.
Yes, I would love to share that. But using those affirmations is it's a way to just shift our thoughts from that rat race that we might be in of the negativity. Why is it not working? Why am I not worthy? Why am I not good enough? Whatever those thoughts are, and replacing it with grabbing a positive emotion. It is safe for me to enjoy my own body. I rejoice in being a woman, and repeating that. And when that other one starts to come in, just, like have this on a 3x5 card, put it on a sticky note on your computer. When those negative thoughts try to break through and come in, we can grab affirmations from any of these books. These folks have done the research on the words that we can use to feed our mind. Like Paula said, we feed our body, we know what to put on our plate, but what do we feed our mind with? And where do we access reliable information, people that we can trust? These are the ones that we've used. Paula's a holistic health, Paula's an integrated nutrition coach. I've been a holistic health practitioner since 2006. So we've worked with clients with these kinds of modalities, this kind of information for lots of years. And we've done some of the research for you. So I'm not saying take our word for it and use this one in particular. That's why we're giving you choices. You need to find the resource that works best for you. Go to the bookstore, or maybe even grab the Libby app, which is free, tie into your library card, check some of these out and look at them and see if there's something that resonates with you. You'll feel it when you see it, that this is something that you may want to pursue. Oh my gosh, another one, The Mood Cure. I love her. They just keep coming in, all these different books on places. So here's what I'll say. If you need to talk about this, if you need, I've rattled off a bunch of different resource books. If you want to dive deeper for you, like where I can share more specific information about what these books are, feel free to reach out either to me, or Paula has her list as well. Either one of us can help direct you on resources for books, maybe a starting point, if there's some emotional stuff that you'd like to get a handle on. I'm going to let you, is there a favorite book that you want to talk about during this part here?
Definitely this one is at the top of my list for sure. The Body Keeps Score is another one that's on my list. I've started it, but haven't finished it, but loving that. Emotion Code is another great one that I love as well. But there's so many to explore. Or if you're not into reading and you're into listening, there's so many on audiobook or those podcasts that Lisa mentioned too. it fits all types of learning styles, that you can grab little nuggets of it wherever you are. And even if you don't finish the whole book, if you're at least capturing pieces of it, you're still soaking up great information, right?
Yeah.
Still moving you forward in that direction. So
I'm glad you said emotion code. I would suggest to people to Google
awesome.
the emotion code chart, and the directions on how to use it. So it's a chart of somebody has done the research and says that all emotions fit under these emotions on the chart. So we use words, but they have similar underlying principles. And so all the emotions fit into this chart of emotions. And the way that you use it, if you're having a feeling or something, you can look it up and see what other pieces are tied to it, similar to these books. But that chart, you can just close your eyes and tap into your own energy and put your finger on it. If you can't identify what emotion you're feeling, and you don't know how to move forward, but you're feeling stuck in a rut, you close your eyes. I put the chart down, and I know I have it here in my coaching journal. I'll pull it out sometimes and share it with folks. But you just put your finger on it, and it's so accurate. Like, your energy is, it can direct you to, hey, maybe I should look at these 4 emotions. It can narrow it down for you. So emotion code is another, there's so many great resources. I wish you could read all of them, but like I said, go to the library, maybe make some notes, go back and listen to the books that we rattled off. We'll also try to put it in the show notes, the ones that we shared today, so that you have a list to go look for. Just grab them off the bookshelf and see what resonates. Open it up, read a page in it, and see which one you want to start with, and just pick one. If you do nothing else, just pick one and start to move this forward with managing your emotions.
Awesome. I love today's talk, and I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks where we're going to talk about, okay, we let it go. Now, how do we fill that with the amazing emotions, with the positive? So that'll be coming up in the next few weeks, and that'll be so much fun. So looking forward to next time.
Yeah, how to not hold the emotions in the body. That's what we're talking about next week. Today, we want to introduce you to it, identifying those emotions, picking out an affirmation that can help you to move or shift your mindset around it. Next week, it's in the body. How do emotions show up in the body, and what do we do about it? We're going to, again, come back to these reference books, maybe dive a little bit deeper on how you actually access that information and what to do about it. So come on back. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.